Well, hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shooting Show, and welcome to this week's program, friends. We have some orders on these shirts from last week, and again, they're post-paid. These are custom-made embroidery, and we have someone that will do these. We have them in a variety of sizes. If you'd like one, it's $34.95, includes shipping, everything, $29.95 plus $5 shipping and postage. So anyway, if you'd like to have one, give us a call here at the show. Anyway, friends, it is indeed a pleasure to be with you this week. Yes, we are the Shooting Show, the #1 gun television program in the world. Also, probably the #1 struggling television show as well. But we are glad to have you with us, friends, because what we want to do is show how guns can be safely and effectively used for good, not for bad, but for good. We want people to understand why our founding fathers put the Second Amendment in our Bill of Rights. It's not the Bill of Privileges, it's the Bill of Rights. Things that were guaranteed, where the federal government guaranteed, we'll leave this alone, we'll stay out of this. This is a guaranteed freedom, guaranteed for every American citizen. But it's becoming less and less of a good guarantee. The guarantee is only as good as the maker. And of course, I guess we can debate whether or not the federal government is the maker or the state's the maker. In reality, it's us, the people. It's up to us, friends. Because it's up to us. Eventually, it all boils down to what we as Americans will accept. This is why we've tried so hard to stay on the air. This is why we have fought and struggled so hard over these years. Because there's nowhere else on television you get this message, nowhere at all. I wish there were other places, but unfortunately there aren't. That's why we're here. That's why we try so hard. Friends, these 11 years we've been on the air have been momentous for so many of us. So many things have happened over these last 11 years. But I hope that the regular viewers of our program have learned some things about guns and about who we as Americans are. I certainly hope so. That's our intent. We have a great show for you today. We have some things that are extremely important that we're going to be looking at if you can help us stay on the air. Please do. We need your help. Our standard address, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dublin, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. If you can help the Shooting Show stay here. We have some products that in the coming months, we have made one of the great discoveries of my entire life. No, I didn't discover it, just discovered it when it came to us. And we think there are some things that are really going to help this project over time. Certainly we're going to help a lot of people along the way. Anyway, let's take this M1A, which we can still purchase, we can still own in our country for now. And let's get another Shooting Show underway. Somebody told me a while back, they said, "Johnny, you must really hate those water balloons." I said, "No, but they sure are fun to shoot." Yeah, 308's tough on water bottles, isn't it? I'm getting wetter by the moment. Heck, let's don't leave the 460 out. Yeah, it's great fun.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, this is the new Georgia Arms 20th anniversary catalog. Of course, has a memorial there to our good friend Jim Clark there on the cover. This is a terrific catalog from the finest ammunition maker in the United States. They have all kinds of great prices on all sorts of ammunition: 243 Winchester, 270s, 7.62 by 39 Russian, all kinds of great stuff. They've even got 308 tracers, 30-06 tracers, all kinds of neat stuff here in this great new Georgia Arms catalog. They have components if you want to load your own ammo, and look here, we've got the shooting show and our new 460 Rowland kit on sale as well. Georgia Arms has the best prices for custom grade ammunition that I'm aware of in the United States, and guess what else? They're helping to support our shooting show. Friends, give them a call today. Free phone call, free catalog, 1-800-624-6861, 1-800-624-6861 from Georgia Arms, and please remember to tell them that you heard it and saw it here on our program. Friends, we have several guns here on this table. I'm going to show you a few things here. This is our safety portion of this week, and we're currently working on a safety tape right now. These are some 22 long rifle bullets right here, regular old 22 bullets. Let me show you something that could prevent you a lot of grief. Friends, this is your regular 22 long rifle bullet. This actually represents a zenith of this particular type of cartridge development. It is also the first basic type of modern cased cartridge development. Let me show you something. See this right here? This is a regular old 9-volt battery. One of the things that sets a 9-volt apart from some other battery, notice you have both of the contacts here on one end. Now then, this is a 22 long rifle case. What's this case made of? It's made of brass, isn't it? Okay, brass has copper in it, which is a conductor of electricity. We heard from someone, and I've heard of this story before, someone having some 22 cartridges in their pocket and a 9-volt battery. Now what's going to happen if we touch this cartridge? See, it's plenty long enough to reach from one of the battery connectors to the other. It's plenty long enough. That case is long enough. What's going to happen is if this battery comes in contact with this case, and it won't just blow it up immediately, but let me tell you what, over a period of time, not too terribly long, it will arc enough electricity, it will heat this cartridge enough, it will set it off. So this is something we always need to keep electrical devices and batteries well away from ammunition, no matter what type it is, but this is a disaster waiting to happen if you have a battery in your pocket. A lot of us have spare batteries for all kinds of stuff, and this 22 long rifle cartridge, like I said, this will actually, after a while, will actually set this cartridge off. You don't want a cartridge to go off outside of a gun barrel which is pointed in a safe direction. Now what will actually happen? Actually, the case will blow off the bullet, but it still could seriously injure, or even worse, whatever it came in contact with. Not a desirable thing to happen, so keep this and these apart. Now, I was telling someone the other day that you should never keep a rifle like this AR-15 or your lever action or whatever, or a shotgun with certainly with exposed or enclosed hammers like this, a hammerless. Actually the hammers are enclosed, has two strikers there. We should never keep these guns stored and loaded, and I'll show you why. Someone said, well, Johnny, we can do handguns. Handguns are safe. Well, let me tell you what. Almost all handguns, with a few exceptions that are not likely encountered, like the old Colt style single actions, we're supposed to carry them over an empty chamber, of course. But let me show you. When we talk about a rebounding, we know this gun's empty. It's 3 times. Let me show you the difference in a rebounding firing pin, and then we'll take the one out of this rifle. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I say a rebounding firing pin. Friends, here's the firing pin on this 1911 right here. See that little round thing? That's the firing pin. Now then, we'll see here. See, there's the firing pin hole. Now see, this pin is spring loaded. It has a strong spring. Let me see if I can get on it and push it there in a moment. Get steadied down and do it. these are spring loaded, and also the firing pin is shorter than the slide. It has to be pushed, and even then, see, there it is right there, it came through. But the firing pin is shorter than the slide itself. It is spring loaded, has a real strong spring here. These can be dropped and whatever else, not likely to go off. That's why, and certainly the 1911 has redundant safeties on it. Well, I don't mind one being chambered, cocked, and locked on this particular type gun or on most other pistols. Now let's see the rifle firing pin arrangement. Unload our AR-15. These are so simple to take down. We'll show you. Remember, check them 3 times minimum. All right, let's take our bolt, put it on safe, pull the pin out here. Now then, take our bolt out. Now then, this bolt encloses the firing pin. You'll be able to see it though. Let's show you this, show you how it works. Now here's the bolt out of the AR-15. This is the firing pin right here. Now look, there's no spring, no nothing. A lot of rifles and shotguns are made like this. There's no spring or anything. Notice how that firing pin will come out. It'll just fall forward there. Now friends, realize if that gun falls muzzle down, bang, you hit it hard enough, that firing pin is going to come forward and hit that primer. So there is a difference in how a rifle or shotgun and a pistol should be carried. And this is, like I said, the case on a lot of different guns. This firing pin is just sort of set in place there. Realize it's plenty long in the forward position to come forward. We've replaced the bolt and have our gun back together here. Now you see, friends, if we bang the muzzle on this thing, or it fell off a building or something, or who knows what, it hit muzzle down, or it fell some other way, there's a chance that this rifle, along with many other types of rifles and shotguns, could go off. This is one of the reasons that we're saying when we cross fences and things like that, unload the gun. When we get out of the deer stand, unload the gun, because we might drop it. On this shotgun, this hammerless shotgun, again, you don't want to trust a safety, because you know what? The safety is a mechanical device for limited application. These guns are designed to be stored and kept in storage and handled not just with safety on, but with unloaded chambers. Because you know what? If something happened, the safety just has to move about a 1/4 of an inch and the safety's off. You might drop the gun, it might slip off the sear, and guess what? Then we have a situation like this. Ooh. Believe me, you don't want a shotgun going off unless you plan it that way. Now friends, what we're talking about here is a little common sense. But so many people today don't know much about guns. They don't know, yeah, it's warm down here. So many people, that's why our program is here, to try and shed some light on how they operate. I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people out there with rifles, with chambers loaded, safety's on, and people think they're safe, but they're not. Things happen. Sometimes I've had guns fall over, haven't you? Well, maybe not, but maybe you won't admit it, but a lot of us have. I mean, we drop things. They're objects. We drop. This is one of the reasons that the 1911 has redundant safeties to prevent an accidental discharge. Let me tell you what, friends, there's just no excuse, and who knows, you could be charged with some sort of lawsuit, or someone, maybe even worse than that, someone could be injured or killed because a gun owner just simply did not understand the proper way to store their firearms. And you know, I've seen movies where they would they'd say lock and load and get ready to go out to parachute, you know, jump out the door. No, they don't parachute with chamber loaded. No, there's always, if someone's shooting at you, you can load it. It only takes a moment. You can load these things, but they don't drop people with chambers loaded and safety on. No, absolutely not. That is an absolute no-no. I don't have a problem with magazine being loaded as long as it's got an empty chamber. Check that chamber check it 3 times. But from lever action rifles and whatever else, a lot of people, I keep guns with magazines loaded. Okay, that's all right, but the chamber is going to be empty. And especially shotguns like this hammerless, especially any shotgun for that matter, should not have a loaded chamber. Friends, this is important stuff. Maybe we can prevent someone from getting hurt or getting sued. And certainly if someone in your family got hurt, it would have repercussions for the rest of your life. So we just don't want it to happen. This is one of the reasons the Shooting Show is on the air, to point things like this out.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
Anti-gun politicians remind me of Charlie Brown, who kept trusting that this time Lucy would hold the football for him to kick. Of course, she never did, and he always fell on his keister. Anti-gun politicians always want one more gun law because this time crooks won't break the law. In view of this, we could call every crook Lucy. A strident anti-gunner, Representative Henry Waxman from California, recently ordered a study to be done by Congress's General Accounting Office, the GAO, not GOA. Waxman thought he had found a way criminals might be getting around the Brady Law's instant background check, so he had the GAO look into it. The GAO investigators had to break a few laws doing so, but they were able to find out that Waxman was right, that criminals could use false IDs to buy guns. As long as the false name is not that of another criminal, there is no way for the background check to stop the sale. Waxman and colleague Representative Carolyn McCarthy from New York know what to do: pass another gun control law. McCarthy reacted about as quickly as your leg moves when the physician taps just underneath your kneecap. She figured that the solution is to keep indefinitely on file the names of those who were allowed to buy a gun because they had no criminal record. Personally, I'm having trouble figuring out how a list of the good guys is going to help catch the bad guys. But one thing I do know, Mrs. McCarthy's list would be a total mandate for the FBI to do what they are already doing illegally: keep a registration list of the guns owned by American firearms owners who have been through the background check. If the gun grabbers were interested in the facts, let alone the Constitution, they could see that crooks will still get guns no matter how many loopholes are closed, loopholes being their word for freedom. A quick look at England's violent crime rate would show this is true. Despite having been an almost complete ban in England now for 4 or 5 years, England's violent crime rate is now higher than ours, and their gun control laws have been completely ineffective in stopping illegal guns from being brought into the island country. It's so bad in Manchester that the media there call their city Gunchester. Closer to home, the state of Hawaii has imposed a complete system of registering all guns and licensing all gun owners. The argument for this violation of the Constitution is that it helps to solve crimes. The idea is that when a gun is found at a crime scene, it can be traced back to its owner. According to firearms researcher Dr. John Lott of Yale University, police in Hawaii have spent tens of thousands of man-hours administering these laws, and there has not been even a single case where police claim licensing and registration have been instrumental in identifying the criminal. Dr. Gary Mauser of Simon Fraser University in Canada found that since Canadians' handguns have been registered starting in 1934, not one crime has been solved using that information. It is easy enough to learn why registration and licensing have nearly zero utility for solving crimes. Criminals almost never leave their guns at a crime scene. Furthermore, their guns are almost never registered to them, nor do they take out permits. Registration lists are quite handy, though. for governments who decide to confiscate guns. This was the pattern throughout the last century, both abroad and in the U.S. So if the history of gun control is that it is useful only as a weapon against the good guys and does nothing to inhibit the bad guys, why would our government want to forge ahead with registration and licensing? To ask the question is to answer it. Maybe Al Gore can figure out an answer that cons the average voter. But it's for sure that he lost the election because he arrogantly threatened to impose registration and licensing if he were elected. From Washington, this is Larry Pratt for Gun Owners of America.
For more information on Gun Owners of America or to join, you can call them at 888-886-4867 or their Virginia office, 703-321-8585, and certainly find them on the internet at gunowners.org.
Now, friends, we're going to look at something that I get quite a few questions about, and this is a basic firearms battery. In this case, we're talking about 4 different types of guns. In fact, maybe even just 4 guns. And here is my recommendation. Certainly there are others, but here is my own personal recommendation. First, we're going to start with a .22 rifle. Your option as to what kind it is. Of course, the .22 is inexpensive to shoot. Many different applications. It's quiet. You can teach the younger people to shoot. It can also supply small game for the cooking pot if need be in an emergency situation. The beauty part about .22 ammo is it's so small, limited purpose, yes, but it's so small you can literally pack away thousands of rounds easily. And it comes to handguns, my own belief is that we should all have at least one centerfire handgun of moderate up power. Of course, this is our .460 Rowland gun, which will shoot the .45 ACP as well as our .460 cartridge. This is one of our .460 revolvers. There are others as well, but there may come a time when the handgun is the only gun you have, and you need to be able to defend yourself against various types of animals, some much more dangerous than others. If this is all you've got, you need to be able to get the job done with it, with a handgun. Now then, as far as shotgun types go, I would recommend a 12 gauge simply because you can shoot everything from birdshot to the slug, which literally can deal with anything that walks in North America. As much as I like autos and other types, I would recommend the slide action or pump shotgun because you don't have to worry about will it have enough pressure to function the gas system on the autos or the recoil system on the autos. And of course you have firepower available with most slide action shotguns. This is, of course, has the folding stock from Choate. Remember, you folks in California, pay attention because it may become impossible to own handguns very shortly in California. And I would have at least one centerfire rifle. Now, this is a .308 Winchester, which, of course, this is a G3. There are many other types out there. You may have a bolt action or something else. I like the semi-automatic, and you're going to need at least 3, 5 is a better number, magazines for these guns, and yes, they're still out there. With the .308 cartridge, again, in a gun like this, you can deal with about anything. It wouldn't be my first choice for big bears, but let me tell you what, it can get the job done. But this gun will shoot accurately out to 300-400 yards if need be, further in different variations, especially like the FAL. You can get out to much longer ranges, of course, with some other rifles even further than that, but there won't be a need for most of us to shoot past 300-400 yards with a rifle. But this is a basic battery that I certainly can recommend, a .308 Winchester, rifle action variety, certainly up to you, any of these up to you, of course, but these are some of my favorites. The pump action shotgun, this one's a Mossberg. I'd be just as comfortable with a Remington 870. This, of course, is the little .22 semi-automatic. This is an old Remington, but it works great. And, of course, my choice of handguns for the auto, of course, is the 1911 and a quality revolver, whether a Smith & Wesson, and there are other brands, of course, out there that are good, perfectly serviceable revolvers as well. But with this battery of guns, you can do just about anything you need to do with a firearm in North America.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
For folding stocks, for pistol grips, for regular stocks, for replacement stocks, for magazine extension tubes for your shotgun, for magazine replacement springs for your shotgun. How about the executive eye scraper, the executive letter opener, all from Choate Machining Tool when you call for a free catalog. You can get the executive letter opener, a multi-purpose tool, or the executive eye scraper, a multi-purpose tool, for only your choice, only $2 when you call for a free Choate catalog. You can get both of them for $4, a $10 value. Friends, if you're a shooter or a gun owner, you need one of the Choate Machining Tool Company catalogs. Call them today, 1-800-972-6390. In Ball Knob, Arkansas, they're helping to support our project. You need one of their catalogs. Again, 1-800-972-6390. And please remember to tell them that you saw it here on our show.
And friends, now for our support group, we want to remind you that we have custom leatherwork and saddlery in Denham Springs, Louisiana for all kinds of leatherwork. The number area 225-667-9225. For all your communications needs in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area, we have Brooks Communication, area 505-888-2929. And for League of the South information and grass shooting discipline information, you can call our friend Dennis Crocker in South Carolina, Dennis Crocker Firearms Training. It's area 864-587-8722. For heavy equipment rentals in Southern California, call Gearlings Equipment Rental, area 909-354-6476. And for pilot services and consulting, call Mike and Sherry Harris in South Carolina at area 864-313-0744. Friends, we're out of time. We'll see you on the next show.